I think it's live again. I don't know. I think we're live. Give everybody just a second to pop back in. Hopefully people can figure it out.
Test.
Yeah, I see us live again over here. Holy
Okay,
cow.
good.
Let me
Technical difficulties, guys. Technical difficulties.
let me retweet this, send it into the Discord.
And then for everyone trickling back in, we're on the topic of Crash's shadow ban. His his router kind of cut out and decided to restart, and it knocked us off, unfortunately. But we were getting into it, and Crash will pick it up here in a second. But we were getting into how like shadow banning is something that seems like can be abused if Crash just gets shadow banned because a team he's playing against doesn't like him and thinks he's cheating. You would think that Ricochet would be able to run a lot of automated analytical data in the background to determine whether or not he's within the spectrum of a real legit player or something that looks suspicious of hacks. That's all that data is real time, stored in a database, should be extremely easy to reference. So the fact that you're getting shadow banned with, and that seems like it's probably a downside of Ricochet, because I think they've talked about this in the past, is you get enough reports with a hacker in a lobby, and this is, they get banned. So it seems like that's what happened. But when you get reported, especially X amount of times, it should run that data in the real time to determine if that player is actually within the scope of what a cheater is or a legit player. So the fact that that's not happening, and just by sheer volume you're getting cut off, that needs to be corrected, because I think they've even said that before. I remember like last year or something, they were getting into this whole topic about if you get reported in mass like that, it's going to automatically kind of shadow ban you. So that's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, they put that much effort and time into developing Ricochet, and then to not have something like an algorithm or some way to automatically, because there has to be a lot of them. People are going to get mad at you. People are going to think they're in false report. They have to have something that could look at my account, say his headshot percentage is like 30 or 40%, and his KD over the last several games is 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not cheating. So like, yeah, it's ridiculous, the whole thing. It surprised me that people could do that. And it almost sounded like them in the in-game comms that they knew that would happen. They were kind of trash talking and saying that, like, all right, we're going to report you.
I'm sure they make a habit of it. And I'm sure there's like a community out there somewhere, like a subreddit that like has gotten into all that. Cause I remember, it seems like just the other day I was reading about shadow bans on Twitter with like Westy, Tactical Brit, and some of those guys who I follow as well. So maybe there's an exploit found within Ricochet that has been floated around, and because everyone's kind of off for the holidays right now, it's kind of just going unmanaged for the most part. And hopefully I'm sure that'll change this week, because pretty much you have like bare minimum crews on the past 3 weeks.
That's what I think so too. And you were talking about how you'd been seeing more cheaters and stuff, and that's kind of what I'm thinking. I replied to Big Mike on Twitter, because he said he was sorry to hear the shadow ban. Appreciate that. Me too. It was like there is a way you can go check too. We're going to talk about that too. You just go into
look at myself.
Yeah, no kidding. So you go into Activision's website and you log into your account, and then you go to the support page. And it's like online connections or something like that, and you can appeal a ban, and you click appeal ban, and you go in there, and then it'll tell you the status of your account. Yeah,
interesting.
It'll let you know.
Yeah, because I've always, I don't know, I can't see who's in chat, unfortunately, like I said, but a lot of the guys that typically play with me, they'll confirm, like, they hate when I host, because we always get insanely sweaty lobbies that are like completely different than anyone else's lobbies. And it's crazy because like I'm not a great player. I'm average at best, I would say. So it's really weird. So the lobbies, especially, I think this is what you and I discussed previously, like last night, was I'd say since the holidays and stuff, the past 3 weeks, I would say I've seen a lot more cheaters. Typically, at least one every play session. I'd say the high end is like 3 to 4. We were doing some DMZ runs on stream the past couple of weeks, and there'd be some nights we get like 3 to 4 cheaters throughout the runs. And I mean, especially at like building 21, you get hardcore, like the clip you showed with that guy aimbotting with the walls, like through the walls, like I didn't see that bad, but you see people on the kill cam tracking you through the wall, and then when they're engaging your team, it's like flick, 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 like not like a quick mouse. It's like snap, 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 and it's so obvious, and it's weird. Especially, I'm curious. This is one thing I don't like about this cheating and Ricochet and reporting is that in the example that you said is your buddy was spotting everybody with a drone. There's nothing in the kill cam that's going to show if I'm spotted with a drone. So if I'm looking at the kill cam, that dude's cheating, I'm going to report him. Now, it seems like they did that. They obviously took it to an extreme. They're like, yo, we're all going to report you. You're going to get banned, blah, blah, blah. But like, there needs to be some indicator to show that you were, whether it's with a drone or an enemy, that guy's teammate spotted you, so you had a live ping, because that accounts for a lot of, you can see a ping through a wall. You can see a drone spot through a wall, and it makes it, the kill cam just, it doesn't, what does it mean at that point? Because you're going to get reported because it doesn't give the player all the information.
Yeah, and that's 100% true. My buddy Ham said that it doesn't show on this, so it does kind of look sus from time to time if I'm tracking and holding it, and then I shoot right when they come around the wall. But it's like because you're pinged the whole time, and I think and that's a whole nother topic. I feel like Search and Destroy in Modern Warfare 2 could be so amazing if balanced as a mode like they do with Siege a little bit. Siege is just constantly evolving and trying to make that a fair game with everything going on and just balancing and tweaking and stuff like that. That's not going to happen for Search and Destroy because it's a small part of a massive game with a ton of different modes and maps, and it has to be balanced across all that stuff. But it's just so frustrating because they need to have stuff like that where it shows pings. They need to think about stuff like that. That's something they added in Siege. They added a yellow ping, like where you can ping whatever for friendlies, and those do show up in the kill cam because that same thing happened. Okay,
it's useful. Yeah, like UAVs. Like if I'm a kill cam, I don't know if there's a UAV up looking at the kill cam, so that information should be there. Especially we're in this day and age of cheaters. Anti-cheat, report everybody. So that kind of information, if you're gonna allow someone to be shadow banned from having 6 people on their team report you because they don't like getting shit on, then there needs to be an easier counter, and there needs to be accurate information available within the kill cam.
Yep, agreed. So I'll get off my high horse about it. I was actually standing up. I was standing up on high horse there for a minute. Because that really upset me. So I'm probably not going to be able to play Modern Warfare for a little while because it's like, what do you do? Because now everything's sus. So we played a few games after I got shadow banned, and it's like, was that legit? Now you're all like, it takes the fun out of it because then you're like micro-analyzing everything, and I just wish they would take S&D and it could be its own separate game almost and balance like Siege and have ranked and stuff like that, because it's like it's almost as good. It's a little bit more accessible. I think it would be awesome.
And that's what you and I talked about leading up to the launch of this game, is like it would be great if they had their own separate instance, because they're trying to appeal to such a broad fan base. You're a search guy coming from the Rainbow, and then you have like maybe the Tarkov crowd, Battle Royale crowd. If there was separate instances where you could tweak the stats for each instance without affecting the whole, that would be huge. But from a development and, I mean, given the life cycle of the games, maybe it obviously probably didn't make that much sense to approach that way, because I'm sure they've thought about it. But I agree with you. I'm kind of in the same boat with like DMZ, and I mean that's you're obsessed with Search, and I'm obsessed with DMZ right now. So I mean I'm curious to see. I'm sure you want to see changes to Search to improve that game mode, and I want to see the same thing on the DMZ side. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with this game the next year or so, because they have so much to manage. How do you balance all of that for everybody? We'll have to wait and see if they can stick that landing or not. Yeah,
100%. I want to talk to you about DMZ a little bit too. I actually played some this afternoon and had a pretty good time. So I have a topic for that in just a little bit. So let's hit it then. And I know we don't got you for too long. But let's go ahead and get through the 2022 year in review. I thought would be fun since it's kind of New Year's to talk about. What are some of the games that you enjoyed or surprises of 2022? I do have an article from PC Games In pulled up that we can check out to
Mhm.
kind of keep us on track. They have a few on here. They have a few I don't agree with, but this can definitely tell us some. Some of the surprises of 2022, I thought was one of the biggest ones was the resurgence of Titanfall 2. That was kind of a big story. It had a big
Mhm.
resurgence of players still kind of hanging in there, actually, surprisingly. We had we had Battlefield 2042 doing its thing over there. Of course, the big launches that we've talked about quite a bit of Modern Warfare 2 and stuff like that.
Mhm.
It was kind of a year. It was just an interesting year for FPS games. I feel like there were a lot of them that kind of floundered, and it was supposed to be a big year, right? With like Halo and Battlefield doing everything. Why is there a
Right.
naked lady with CDs on her boobs? I don't know. I can't answer that. Um, Great questions. There's even more anime girls down here. I love the internet. Look at all these ads. It's very fun. There's cameras. That's the stuff I look at, so that's better. Um, do I? I don't know. Warzone 2 coming out. That's a big deal. Some of these I don't even know. Doom Eternal was a really big one too.
Mhm.
Overwatch 2 was huge. A ton of people played that. Were there any games other than COD that you kind of remember or things that happened like 2022 wise?
Not that necessarily like came out in 2022, but as far as like, I mean, I think Elden Ring was a big surprise just because single player game. I didn't play it, but I appreciate how cool it looked. I mean, I did watch some stuff there. I thought it was pretty neat. And then for like just titles for me, I mean, I had a great time with Insurgency Sandstorm. I think that was kind of what got me through gaming this past year, honestly, until we got up to COD, because Battlefield I dropped really quickly the end of last year. So like I know Sandstorm came out around a little bit before Battlefield 2042 on the console. So the console release for that really like held me over, and then just going back. And being able to play Ghost Recon's Wildlands for me was really good also. So those are like the two games that really got me through, because I think 2021 or 2022, I really didn't play much Call of Duty at that point. That was kind of like the worst part of where Warzone and COD was for me. So until we got up to the tail end here with Modern Warfare 2, definitely those two games had got me got me through the terribleness, in my opinion, that was Warzone at the time.
Yep. I played I was trying to think back on that year because there was a really big lull when Battlefield wasn't doing it for us. Everyone was kind of waiting for Modern
Mm-hmm.
Warfare 2. I think back then I
Yeah.
was playing a lot of Rainbow Six and Tarkov. Tarkov
Mhm.
had another huge year. It had a really big lull after the 12-12 patch with not a lot of new content.
Right.
Man, I'm struggling. I'm struggling so bad with Tarkov right now. I haven't even done a single raid since the new wipe. I haven't even checked out streets. I've been watching streams. I'm like, I'll watch you other people put yourself through misery, but I was expecting, I thought they were going to change the tasks more than they did. But the new tasks are still almost all the same. And I'm like, dude, I can't go get the pocket watch for like the 50th
Tarkov is
time,
a
man.
big game to get into, man. Especially you and I who have grinded it a lot before. I've been through a handful of wipes. So have you. It's a you nailed it. I mean, it's a lot of pain and suffering. So, do you really want to put yourself through that again? Not right now. I'm fine, kind of sitting on the sidelines and just seeing where the game goes before I jump back into it right now, because it
Yeah.
is a
It's like,
lot of pain and suffering.
I don't know. It's like last wipe. I got the farthest I ever did, like leveling and tasks, and I got into it
Yeah.
pretty good. And some of those
Hmm.
tasks were just an absolute bitch. Like they were so hard to
Yeah.
get through. And then
Hmm.
realizing that you have to go through all those again to get the traders, it's just like
Sucks,
I
dude.
can't, man. Like
Get
I
to the
just did
flea
it.
market.
Yeah.
That's the worst part for me, is that early grind. I know a lot of people love it because the PvP is good, but dude, and the good thing is like the early levels, they added things like I think 2 or 3 webs ago where you can make like reasonable builds right off the bat by combining the right stuff from the different traders available. So you can get in with some like relatively kitted weapons, which I like, and I thought that really held me over for a couple more wipes. But then they raised the flea market level and the traders, different stuff. So you had to get to like level 20. I think they raised the cap to for a flea market last time I was in it. And like for me, just to get to the point where I want to build like my tactical weapons and get in there and have a good time, it's just like, that's like 60 to 100 plus hours of gameplay, depending on how you do with your quests,
Yep. Yeah, so Tarkov had a big year. It kind of kept me through, but it's not it's not doing it this year.
Yeah.
And then like as far as the show goes, man, we had an awesome year here on the show, dude. Like I started it kind of myself back then, and then you came on board, and it's been growing ever since, slowly but surely. And we just have an awesome group of people. Shout out to you guys that come by and watch, and just appreciate it so much. Everybody that listens to it on the podcast, comes by the streams, and we just always have awesome people chatting and talking about everything going on, and just really smart people. And then I pulled this up. The list of guests we had on the show is fucking mind-blowing, that these super busy people took time out of their day to come on the program. Incredible. So I just want to do a shout out to the guests we had and kind of think about like how fucking awesome it was. We had Geeksay from Tarkov, Tom Henderson, you guys know him from Insider Gaming, Get Flanked, massive Rainbow Six creator, Only Slightly Bad, and Dubfire33 from the Objective Battlefield podcast. Big Fry TV, the man himself, came over. Jim Heil from EA, Beast Mode Boone and Hillbilly Man from their streams over on Twitch, Auntie from Road to Vostok, Blue the Robot, USA Specialist, Blue the Robot, World War III, Dead Side, those games, USA Specialist, Battlefield creator, and Rockhound Black, who's going to have a massive year coming up with all the games from Embark Studios. So like crazy, man. So I hope to continue to have guests and folks come on the show to make the content better and bring insight that maybe Buff and I don't have playing the games that we stick with. I would also love to have like more people, more like experts, not necessarily on staff, but like kind of how Blue pops in and gives us updates on World War III and stuff like that. I think it's so cool. I appreciate that so much. So just because there's a whole segment that we're missing too, of like Valorant, CSGO, and those are massive games, and they're FPS games, and we don't talk about them too much because I'm not really into them. Hey, with me getting shadow banned on 2019, I might have to test out the old Vanguard anti-cheat in Valorant. I might have to switch to Valorant now, see if their anti-cheat works.
There you go. See how it is. Yeah.
They have a lot of cool things on that, but like for Valorant, for the competitive side, 120 hertz servers, really well optimized, and the crazy anti-cheat. So that's a game I wish I was good at, but the show.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. And then I know like even Fortnite, everyone was saying, because there was a whole controversy where Nick Merckx was sick of the hackers, and everyone was saying like, I think, or maybe it was Apex, like it's still the same over there. So I think wherever you go, you're going to cheat. It's just a matter of like how on top of it everyone is. But yeah, it was a great year. Really, this is the year I joined up. You were nice enough to invite me and want to suffer with me every week. So
you're suffering with me
to be a co-host. So I really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun for me to do it. And yeah, we had a lot of great guests. So it was really good to meet and talk to a lot of those people. The first time at Big Fry, I've been watching Big Fry before I even thought about starting a channel. So that was really great to talk to him. Blue the Robot, I didn't even know who he was till you brought him on, and I follow him on YouTube now and watch all this stuff. Great content over there. So it's cool being a content creator, I guess, because you meet and learn a lot of new things. So thanks everyone for sticking with us and suffering through my Twitter rants on a daily when I get into my moods. But it's always good to come on here and talk, and I love doing the stream. So it's great.
Yeah,
great to be here. Good year. Looking forward to 2023.
I appreciate you coming on and doing it with me too, because it was really hard by myself, but because I got everything going on here. Just like today, my router died, and I basically had all of my show notes and audio sources deleted about 5 minutes before we started the show. So
great, love it.
It's always fun over here, and yeah, you can keep talking while I'm juggling all this stuff, and it helps. It helps a lot. But no, it's been a fun year, man. Like, and I hope we can continue to make better content. I almost, as a creator, I'm almost not even. I don't want to put number goals on stuff because I kind of had those before 2042 died, and I didn't get anywhere close to where I thought I was going to be. But I kind of want to make my goals a little more tangible. And with this show, I just want to continue to try to get better. I want to try to add stuff. I want to try to have segments. I want to try to have experts. I want to try to have more guests on that can bring you guys better content and just get the show production tighter and just make it better. Because I don't know a ton of people that really do like a live FPS news show. So I just want to get better at it and bring better content to you guys. If we grow, we grow. If we don't, we already got some awesome people that hang out with us. So it's all good. It's just, I'll keep doing it as long as it's fun, but it's pretty fun.
Yeah. And I think, like you said, I mean, you had a great community. I had a great community, and we were able to combine those. So, I mean, at the end, that's the thing, is like putting goals on things. I think with this, it's something you and I probably both started out of passion projects. So, I have a better time doing it when I don't really look at my numbers. If it does good, it does good. If not, I still have a good time doing it as a hobby. But yeah, I think the bottom line is the Scope channel, everything's been growing. So we're doing it right regardless. Just it's always going to be a grind, but it always pays off though.
Yep. But no, it's been fun, and we'll keep it up. So that was kind of 2022 in a review. I had a bunch of other games and stuff to talk about that happened. Splitgate was another weird one. Like, kind of the downfall of AAA was kind of the overall, like, overarching storyline of 2022, like in up and coming indie games. Like Tarkov Insurgency still doing well in year 4. I got to shout out Rainbow Six. That's a game I can always go back to. I had to play it last night because it got shadow banned. Infinity Ward. Geez, how many more times is Crash going to bring it up? Probably a lot. I'm pretty mad. And then they just keep adding to that game. So I wonder when they're going to pull an Overwatch 2. But I know we don't have you for too much longer, so we need to probably keep going through this stuff.
You got me as long as you need me right now. I at least got like another 50 minutes or so if we need it, so no rush.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, the
2023.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Yeah, like you said, the downfall of the AAA shooters, and like you said, we listed some great indie studio games there, and like there's some other ones out there that like we really haven't even touched on this show yet, like things like Ready or Not, Harsh Doorstep, and there's some other ones that I can't think of the names off the top of my head that I have on my list of like games that I watch every week. I watch gameplay of it, and there's a lot of stuff coming up. So yeah, I think 2023 is going to be a pretty interesting year for gaming, especially with all these indie titles outperforming the AAA titles.
Yeah. There's Ready or Not. They had a massive shift. We saw our first stuff from Road to Vostok. That's another one that I'm looking forward to in 2023, because we're going to get an actual like gameplay loop. We're going to figure out what the gameplay loop is with Vostok later in 2023. The High on Life game, the Rick and Morty game, I had a lot of fun watching people play that game. It's hilarious. It did really well. The Cycle Frontier was another one. Kind of a Tarkov light. When people were disenfranchised with Tarkov, a lot of people were playing that. As far as 2023 goes, I hope, we say this kind of every year, but I hope it's kind of a bigger year for shooters. We have the stuff from Embark Studios coming. Those 2 games are supposed to be 2023. I think they're still going to try to get both of them out. That would be super, super cool. Our creators, that's like the third person PvE one. But it's a third person shooter, which I don't mind in PvE. Someone said there were rumors of them making it into some PvP aspects to it, which would be pretty wild.
It'd be cool.
So what Embark has coming, again, you guys know, you've heard it 1,000 times. That's a lot of the old Battlefield developers are going to be making their way back together and coming up with this stuff, and it looks stunning. The same way, the same thing with the finals gameplay. That one is going to be really interesting too. I put a few games in the one of one category. There are no other games like it. Tarkov is one of those for me. And Rainbow Six Siege is another one of those for me, with the soft destruction, the amount of operator gadgets and everything that's in that game, how the audio propagates through bullet holes, and like just the sheer amount of complexity to Rainbow Six. One of the games of 2023 that could potentially be put on that list for me is going to be the finals from Embark. I did play in the alpha playtest, and the destruction was was crazy. Never seen anything like it with the server side.
It looks crazy. Yeah, it looks nuts.
So that's one to keep an eye out for sure. That I could really see being added to my one of one super unique games list. I feel like because it looks crazy. And then Transients from Big Fry. That's going to be really cool to see. I hope that catches on. Dead Drop from Dr. Disrespect. That's another interesting one. I don't know if I'm like super excited about it. The reason I'm interested in it is because it's new for the industry, right? To have that much transparency when developing. Right. So it's going to be cool to see how it plays out, like good or bad. We're going to learn from it. So that's pretty cool.
Exactly.
Tarkov's going to keep wilding. What else in 2023? Oh, the big one for me is the Star Wars FPS from Respawn. I don't know what that'll be. Like.
Yeah, I'm excited to see kind of what they do with that. And I know there's that new Jedi Fallen Order game coming out too, which
Survivor
it should be interesting.
I don't think we've had a true just Star Wars FPS game, like first person shooter, because all the Battlefronts were third.
Yeah, not since like the old PC days that I remember. Can't even remember what they were called, but I do remember some first person stuff like KOTOR stuff back in the day, like we're talking like late 90s. So it's been a while.
So I do know from the hires and things, they've brought on some Dark Forces, that old one. Yep. Okay. I figured there was one, but it was probably before my time. As a boomer, I'm still a child in the FPS world. And then what else is coming out in 2023? Redfall is going to be crazy. Starfield is going to be wild. A lot of people consider that a shooter, but there's just so much to it. Bethesda's like open world space game. It's going to be like kind of like just a massive like No Man's Sky, but Bethesda bigger. I don't know if they're going to pull that off or not. That's going to be interesting. Oh, the other one that's more pressing. I did have that pulled up. Do you remember us talking about the day before, that really crazy looking game that we don't even know if it's real or not?
Right. Yep.
So supposedly tomorrow, that would be January 3rd for those of you playing at home, there's supposed to be a CES NVIDIA show, and they're supposed to show new information on the day before.
Interesting. Okay.
So we don't know what that's going to be. Yeah. It's odd to talk about a game and reveal gameplay at like an NVIDIA show, but I mean, it does look amazing from what we've seen, but there's still a lot of skepticism out there. This game is also one that it leaked. It didn't really leak, but it was found out earlier last year that a lot of the people were volunteers working on the game, and they were paying them with like Amazon gift cards.
Yeah, exactly. Which is wild.
And we still know nothing about the gameplay loop. It's supposed to be like a survival MMO, and it looks this good. So if you have big servers with it looking this good, I get like Earth 2 vibes. Like, is this real? It's like seems too good to be true. And in my experience, if it's too good to be true, it usually is.
Yeah.
So exactly. Tomorrow will be interesting. I got my popcorn. I don't know. That game is. I think the game is supposed to release in March. We haven't heard much since they delayed it.
I thought 2023. Yeah.
Yeah, they did an 8-month delay. Like, do the math, like 5 months ago or whatever. Jeez. And we haven't heard anything from them since then. So I don't know about this one, man. I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't know how they're gonna pull that off, or if they're gonna pull that off at all.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what I had on my list. Starfield is another one. It's Bethesda, so the game is going to release, like it's going to be a game, but I don't know if it's like hyped up too much, because it's supposed to be giant. Oh, X Defiant. Thank you. That's another one. Chris, thank you for helping me, because I lost all my notes.
That in a long time either. I haven't heard anything about that in a while. And I know they like rebranded. They took away the Tom Clancy title and just called it X Defiant. So
they're still doing constant play tests. There's a couple people in my Discord who have been playing it on the play test, and I'm just like really looking forward to what it's going to be like from what Mark Rubin has said. He's worked on some of the old standby classic Call of Duties in the past, and he's just been saying really cool stuff about anti-cheat. He's been saying really cool stuff about skill-based matchmaking, that it only belongs in ranked. So we know there's going to be a ranked mode. I'm not super thrilled with the setting. They have darkened it up and toned it down a little bit. They did thankfully remove the Tom Clancy from it, so it's kind of just
Yeah.
it's an Ubisoft shooter with some of the factions and stuff from other games. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it for nothing, for no other reason to see how some of those mechanics are balanced and to see what a long semi-transparent, because it's under NDA, but a long like semi-transparent development cycle does to an arena shooter, like how it works.
Yeah, and I think that was announced along just about the same time as Frontlines, back in 2020-ish. I think it was, right, like sometime in the latter half of 2020, I want to say. So yeah, I think it'll be cool to see kind of what it evolves into, because I know the trailer for that was not received well, and they had a Tom Clancy title, and they kind of like rebranded a little bit, kind of like Crash said, just changed up the tone. So that'll be interesting. I'm still really kind of waiting for. I know we talked about Frontlines being canceled too. I'm curious if I know we mentioned it like the other week. Is there going to be more of a like Escape from Tarkov type those genre of games coming out from other studios? Is something like Frontline going to be repurposed to a escape gameplay like that instead of a battle royale? Are we going to see like an extraction based game out of that, or where's I think, especially from a console perspective, we're really lacking like more grounded, realistic shooters, which is why it was so refreshing to have Sandstorm come out the console. So things like that, I think there's still a huge market there. We see all these indie games that come to PC. There's still there's an enormous market if you can get stuff like that ported over to consoles quickly, because people will play it and they'll spend the money. So I'm curious, indie titles, AAA, whatever. What are we going to see in 2023? And that goes to like X Define. You know, what's that game going to end up being like? Because when it was announced, it was nothing but negativity surrounding it, and who knows what that'll end up being. It seems like they've obviously held off on that quite a long time, so they've been redoing some things with the game. So what's that going to end up looking like?
Yep, 100%. So we're yeah. So basically, what we're saying, guys, is we're gonna have plenty of FPS stuff to talk about next year or this year. This year now, this upcoming
this year, yeah.
Yeah, we'll have plenty of stuff to talk about. And then there's some games that haven't been developed this way that we're gonna see come out and see how these different kinds of development tactics and like bringing the community in on development with a couple different games. We're gonna see how if that pays off or not. If that makes a better game, or if it's kind of a too many cooks in the kitchen, you know, no real leader, and it's too much of going in different directions design wise. We'll see how that goes. And then I see AAA. The AAA gaming space has always been kind of monkey see, monkey do to me. They kind of copy each other all the time. So seeing the success of DMZ, I feel like some other AAA, Ubisoft, some kind of EA studio or something is going to keep working on that extraction genre. It's probably going to get bigger with seemingly DMZ being the bright spot of Warzone 2 right now. From the vibe I get from Twitter and stuff.
Right. Yep. Completely agree.
So, trying to think anything else in 2023. The main ones I'm about are the Embark Studio games and the Star Wars FPS. I hope we hear more about that.
Yeah, I think the only other one for me is I'm like curious what we hear around surrounding Battlefield later this year, because I think by the time we might not even hear anything by the end of this year. I don't think there's going to be a new title till 2024, but we should at least start hearing where that franchise is going moving forward. So there's definitely some unanswered questions that I would like to have some answers to. I don't want to be in the dark when we get into 2024 and the game's supposed to come out in November and it's June and we don't know what the heck's happening and blah blah blah. I'd like a clear statement from EA and DICE saying this is what we're doing and this is when it's projected to come out. We're going to do that. They need to commit to a timeline, and I really want to see what they do with that game, because you and I both love Battlefield, so we want to see them turn that around and come out with a good title again. And I think they need to start laying, and they're already laying the groundwork for that. I'm sure they've already started development on it for sure, but to get that out there, because they really need to win the PR campaign, and they have a lot to make up for. So the sooner they get on top of that, the better. I don't want to hear any of this. Yeah, the furthest play tested, best progress ever of every Battlefield. Like the most advanced Battlefield, no bugs, all that stuff that they told us. They fed us that garbage, and it wasn't coming from the right sources, as we heard from Jim. So pretty much solidified that. So that's my big one for 2023 is I want something from Battlefield to let us know where that's going.
Yeah. I think before anything, it seems like from what Marcus Leto's been saying on Twitter is that we'll probably hear about their single player mode before anything. It seems like they're cranking away at that. Man, I made that video where
2042.
What's up?
Is that supposed to be like the same, like a single player to 2042, or is it just an unknown single player?
So things change a lot, especially this early.
Yeah.
But Tom Henderson did say that they were going to continue in that universe with 2042. Which I mean, I guess they could.
I think it's gonna bomb, dude. I think they need to get the hell away from all of that as soon as possible. I cannot foresee players seeing that and being like, this is something I'm going to spend my money on. I just don't see it. Yeah. But who knows? We'll see. Maybe they'll learn. Maybe they won't learn. Yeah,
I don't know. I don't get really amped about single players. I mean, that's not why many people are,
especially from
Battlefield. Yeah, that's not many people play Battlefield for that. So
right.
I don't know. We're really bad show host, Buff, because we forgot about one that's really important.
Oh,
Stalker 2, man.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, there we go.
Dude, Stalker 2 looks crazy awesome. I think. And you got to give a shout out to the Ukraine development team for continuing to get the game out. And I mean, they had to delay a little bit, completely understandable, but there was a new gameplay trailer just last week, I think, and it looks awesome. It looks awesome. Generally, Stalker games, or the Stalker type of game, like the single player kind of survival stuff, is not something I get into. I'm playing this 100%. It looks sweet, especially I got hyped up about it talking to Auntie from Road to Vostok. I got amped up about Stalker 2.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be cool to see Stalker 2 come out because it looks really cool. Are you gonna check it out? Is it console?
Yeah. I think it's supposed to be on consoles, if I'm remembering correctly. I guess chat can let you know if I'm wrong, but I've always watched, even to this day, I watch some of the guys play the older the Stalker games and like Anomaly and other stuff. I know like Operator Drewski does some videos every now and then, and some other guys that I just love watching. So to get that, I haven't played any of them personally because I haven't gone back and gotten them on PC, even though I've wanted to, and I just haven't had time. To have it more accessible on console would be great, because I love all the gameplay I see. It looks really fun. It looks like a game I could sink unhealthy amount of time into. So we'll see.
It looks like the perfect game to play when you're shadow banned.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's gonna be me. So no, Stalker 2 is gonna be cool. This gameplay trailer is just came out like a few days ago, like last week or something. So
oh wow, okay,
it's nice. Pretty new.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. I haven't seen this new trailer yet, so I'm excited to kind of see. I think it's on consoles. I don't know what chat said about that because I unfortunately can't see, but I thought it was supposed to be on consoles because I remember it being the debut trailer like last year, right around the same time as Battlefield.
Oh no!
So what's oh no?
It's Xbox and PC.
No.
Yeah.
Oh man, I have to upgrade my PC, I guess. Bummer.
Yeah. Xbox Series XS and PC. It's gonna be on Game Pass.
Oh wow.
Microsoft got it. They got them. They got a hold of it.
Oh no, Sony's got to step it up. That's okay.
Yep. The other one, it's not an FPS. There's gonna be a new Division, Heartland, which will be interesting. Okay. I don't get like super amped about the Division games. I've played them. They're really cool to explore off the bat. So this might be a game I buy and then play for like 10 hours and then never again. Mm-hmm. I do that. I'm just being honest to you guys. Like, I'm letting you into my heart. This is what I do. These are things that I do. I'm being vulnerable right now. Sometimes I buy games just to see and then I don't play them. I'm a bad person. I get it. But this one's going to be cool to me because the Division games have traditionally been in cities, and this is the Heartland. It's supposed to be a little bit more rural. It seems like more of a setting for a Far Cry game. So I feel like it's kind of like it's a different setting. Mm-hmm. And maybe, hey, I've always lived in the Heartland my whole life. Maybe I can see my house in the game or something.
There you go.
I don't know. So that's another one coming out. Alara Prime is supposed to release. That's another weird game. Unique, I should say. I shouldn't say weird. That's not nice. I take that back. I apologize. It's the one that's 4v4v4. It's kind of a competitive arena shooter with 3 teams instead of just 2.
Okay.
They already had their alpha.
I remember we talked about this one. Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that one. So it's supposed to get finished out and released. Then another wild one that I've been watching for a while that's allegedly going to release in 2023, and this is going to be on console too, is Boundary. Did you see that one? It's like the astronauts fighting each other.
Oh, yeah. I think if I'm remembering it, I saw those trailers like a while ago, right? They came out, it seems like a couple of years ago at this point. Yeah, it's supposed
to release in 2023, and it's like a Call of Duty in zero-G like space. So it
reminds me
really
of like
one.
Some of the levels from Ghost or whatever. You're in space. This is what I immediately thought of.
Yep. Oh, and then another one. I found my list, guys. Don't worry.
All right.
We're back.
Nice.
This has been a rough night. Payday 3. So that's another one that's coming out, console and PC in 2023. I've never played the Payday games, but I've watched people, and I know a bunch of my friends kind of got into Payday 2 at one point, and I was watching them play it, and it looked pretty fun. Like the heist modes. I just bit my tongue. Ow.
Ooh, it's the worst, man.
It can get any worse.
That is the worst.
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say it can't get any worse tonight, but because it can. It always can. But yeah, so Payday 2, 3 is coming out. 2 looked really cool, and I know they have like a devout, like they have some hardcore fans. Like they have a community that loves Payday games, so that's really cool.
Yeah.
And then
I've never played them either, so have to hopefully check it out.
Whoa. There's another one coming out that's supposed to be RoboCop, a RoboCop game for a shooter.
God.
That'll be wild.
Interesting. What I really want, I think like what would be right up my alley is like a first person, like think Ghost Recon Wildlands, but like strictly first person. Would be pretty sick. Something like that. Someone's got to make like, give me that. The hardcore tactical movement, all that stuff is what I need. I'll play that forever.
I'm down. That'd be pretty fun. Yeah, I think that's all that's on my radar that I know of. I'm sure I'm missing some. There's always a bunch of people.
Yeah, we're definitely forgetting some stuff, but good thing is we have all year to talk about them. So
yeah, we'll talk about them as they come, as they come up, and throughout the year we'll talk and react as if anyone cares what I have to say. I will say, I got it this week. I was on vacation. I got to pretend to be a content creator. You can't tell it. You can't tell it by this dog shit show that I didn't prepare for. I got to make some videos and put some time and more time and effort into them. And it was a lot of fun. I got to pretend to be an actual YouTuber for a while. And I made a Battlefield video, just kind of telling my thoughts and everything, and just, not being an asshole, but just like respectfully saying, we got hosed. Like this isn't right. And the comments were like, make you tear up, man. Like there's a whole segment of people that feel the same way that don't really have a voice. So I'm gonna be that voice. No, I don't know about that, but
that's how I always felt too. Is like, back when I was just a regular gamer, and I would like reach out to like some of the guys that had the channels because like they had the voice. But yeah, I mean, you and I feel a certain way, and there's a whole lot of so many people were dependent on that game to be like the saving grace of the FPS world, given the state of everything else at the time, and it made big promises and it showed big things that just were not reality. So yeah, I mean, it's really, I still think you and I need to do a whole episode just Battlefield talk because there's so much to get into there. But yeah, I mean, we're not alone. That's the important thing.
Yeah, the comments were like so nice, man. They were heartwarming. Like no one was being jerks either. Like, dude, I totally feel that way too, and I hope it's better. And essentially, it's like I'm not trying to point fingers at anybody. I just don't want it to become the norm. Like to have a broken game at release, like 4, like 5.
Mm-hmm.
1 wasn't too bad, and like 2042, and them have to fix it, keep having to fix it. And I don't want 4 post-launch maps to become the norm. Like I don't want that to become just standard. I just so bad. Like fuck that, man. I get so excited when we'd have like 4 map packs and content and stuff, like exploring 4, like when those content drops, like the last ones I remember was when we had premium in Battlefield 1. I'm not saying we need premium because no one is saying that live service can't work. It just needs to be the same amount of content we used to get with premium. Then it can be free, you know? Like there's no one saying that it has to.
If it means getting back a good Battlefield title with content, I'll pay double the amount of the title if it's going to be worth it. But they got to prove it to me first.
But I just remember that's a ton of content because Battlefield maps were so big. So you get 4 maps to go explore. I used to get so hyped for that, dude. I used to get so hyped. I miss it.
Especially that I still to this day go back and watch some of the Battlefield 3 DLC packs, like Armored Kill trailer. Like that thing still gets me hyped today. Like the trailers they would make those, and they delivered. Right, the gameplay when you got in and played was better than the trailer, which is saying a lot because you would go back and watch the Armored Kill Battlefield 3 map pack trailer today, and you'll get chills from it. Like the music, everything in sync. It's great. And then you get in and play and you're like, this is better than the trailer. There's so much to do. It's amazing. They delivered more vehicles, weapons, maps. Like the gameplay loop was ridiculous. Dude, you're so far from that.
Since I was a little bit later on, like the Name of the Czar DLC for Battlefield. And then the last one. What was the last one? It had like Passchendaele and that other map.
For Battlefield 5 or
for 1? Battlefield 5 went to live service and they trickle fed content and we thought, it can't get any worse than this, and it did.
Oh, we're wrong.
Yeah, we were way wrong. What was the last one? Watching that trailer for the last DLC for Battlefield 1, and then those maps came out, and holy, pretty wild. I still go back and play. I might be playing more Battlefield since I'm shadow banned. Infinity Ward. Yeah, Apocalypse. Yeah, I think that was it.
Okay, nice.
Dude, it was awesome. Maybe it was nostalgia talking, but back then at least I thought it was awesome. So yeah, that's 2023. We'll get a lot of answers and we'll cover it all right here. If you can put up with the technical bullshit and my shitty hosting, you can watch it here. We'll keep you updated. You want to talk about real quick? I don't want to keep you too much longer. I don't really have any quick shots because I deleted all those accidentally when I had to restart my computer, so that works out.
Oh no!
I think most of the only one I was going to talk about. I think I'll still remember. But yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit about DMZ Wars? We talked quite a bit about it before my router crashed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where are you at right now?
I think I still feel like this. I know last week we talked about like kind of like our thoughts on Warzone. If we're looking at like Warzone, specifically the Battle Royale, I really have no interest in playing it right now. Not to say I don't like it. I just think it feels like a waste of time because you play it, you have good games, and the circle shifts you to the circle pulls are just really dumb in my opinion, and it really takes away. It's just pure luck for the most part. Like if you get lucky with the circle pull, you'll be in a position to win the game. If you're on the bad side of that circle pull, which more often than not you are, because the circle pulls are crazy, you're gonna lose. So you can have like great games, play things great, and get like stupid pulls. Other times you get like relatively normal pulls. I just remember the Battle Royale, like the pulls we would get in Warzone 1 were like reasonable circle shifts. And this one, it just seems like smaller shift, and then just like, whoa, other side of the map, you got to go 1,800 meters. Good luck going through all these buildings, everyone that's camping in on this side of the circle that you got to push through towards, and they don't need to move till the circle comes to them. So it just really makes it kind of like, I feel like it's a waste of time for me to even play Battle Royale right now. I still play it once in a while, but I'm reinvigorated with DMZ. I am obsessed with DMZ. The PvP in that, when you come across it, means so much more. The gunfights are so different. It's a completely different game. So people who haven't tried DMZ and are still on the Battle Royale wagon, like I was playing more Battle Royale of Warzone 2 up until like 2-3 weeks ago, I would say, when Building 21 first came out, and then I like played it and I was like, I need to play more of DMZ, and I just got obsessed. And it's not something you can jump into if you're jumping into DMZ for the first time. Like, get in with buddies, because you're not going to know what the heck's going on for a while. It took me I don't want to say a long time, but a good amount of hours to get in there and figure out what the hell I was doing and how to play it. It's a different mode. You can't play it like a battle royale, and unfortunately, that's how it was showed off when it was revealed. But it's so much fun. Just doing the missions, and you don't know what you're going to encounter. And like I said, that PvP is so worth it, and coming up with different builds that are going to work in this mode. And me and some of the guys I've been playing with, like Justin and Man Named Nobody, have come up with some crazy stuff. And just going into Building 21 is completely new experience. The PvP there is crazy, and the AI is all Shadow Company, and they're no joke. Like, we got killed. I think we have, like, myself, this Justin and Man and Nobody, like, rarely lose any PvP period, unless we just don't have plates or we don't have our actual weapons. But we were going on a tear this past couple weeks. But the Shadow Company AI on Building 21 will kill you more than players will kill you, at least in our case. But just learning that map, figuring out how to play it, it is not something easy. It's not something you can just get in solo and do. There's a learning curve there, and it's like a thrill to me to get in there and learn the map, learn where to go, access the key cards. How do we get there? What's the objective? How do we get the weapons cases? So yeah, I'm obsessed with DMZ right now, and we completed all 6 weapon cases the past couple days, and finally got this. We got our strategy. We came up with crazy different weapons for regular Amaz or DMZ in Building 21, and just so much fun, dude. I could play that forever, and my sleep schedule is completely ruined because I've been up till like 3 to 4 a.m. just playing it. I don't know where the time goes. It'll be midnight, and then it'll be 4 a.m. and now my sleep schedule is destroyed. So that's where I'm at. I know you said you just started getting into DMZ a little bit today. You played it.
Yeah, I played it a little bit today. I still haven't got into Building 21 yet. I haven't had all my normal buddies on at once, and also I'm also shadow banned in Warzone 2, so it carries over there. So that's fun.
Awesome.
The other thing, I'm starting to hit that extraction mode lull for me, my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I feel like it's pretty fun to go in and do contracts and hunt other players. It's pretty fun, like when I have the most fun. But then when I sat down, I'm like, okay, I want to get some quests done. Like, I want to move through some of these tier 3 ones or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, let's knock some of these out. Well, then I get killed by people who are just hunting operators, because I'm right, like before we got offline to this afternoon, I was trying to do the one where you shoot the AI and then you mark the radio and then you shoot the marked ones on the radio. You have to like 5 radios and 15 whatever. I was doing that. We're shooting AI, and then this other squad just rolled up and destroyed us because we were focused on the AI. So that's frustrating. But I guess the nice part about DMZ is, like, unlike Tarkov, you're not really out that much. Like, when you die, it's a bummer, but it's not like you lost a whole bunch of stuff. But I could see DMZ getting a little bit stale eventually, just for me. And like, you start to not have a clear-cut reason why to go into a raid. However, I think they're going to add stuff to it, and there's been a lot of people. My next video, I think, is I'm going to talk about DMZ and what they should add to keep it going, keep it fresh, keep people in there. Because that's, to me, that's the biggest question for me. It plays really good now, bugs and stuff, technically beta, somehow still beta. But I have yet to see an extraction game succeed long term that doesn't wipe. Like, Tarkov's like the only one, right? And they wipe and delete everybody's progress every few months, which is just a weird thing to me. So I don't know. I'm having a hard time putting my words into it, but I'm going to be interested to see how they make a non-wiping extraction type mode stay fresh and good. Adding another map was great, like 21. That's awesome.
Huge. Huge.
Because now, Mazra, if you played a decent amount of Warzone 2 and then you went over to DMZ, everything's on the same map. It can start to get a little boring. And then, it's good. It's good. I don't get real hyped up about extraction modes right now. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely there's a lot that I think they should add, and I hope they do. Like, they need more stashes for like backpacks, plate carriers, because if you die with stuff and like you lose your. I mean, you can store like 4 self-reses in your backpack. You can store the backpack plates, but once you leave an extract, you lose all that. So definitely kind of frustrating, especially like Building 21, where you'll go in and die. Unfortunately, like like I said, we died mainly to like the bots at the end, the AI trying to extract with the weapons case, because you just get flooded with like Velica and the Wheelson. It's crazy. And then not to have any backup plate carriers or anything to go in with, you're starting with like nothing, and you're just really dependent on what kind of weapons you have as contraband at that point. So I think that's like, there's some definite logical changes that I think they'll add, and I hope they'll add to support that mode. But I'm in the same boat as you. Is like, once we complete those quests, where's that game? What else are we going to be able to do? I hope they expand upon it at that point. Right now, I still have something to grind for, but when we get to that point where we don't have something to grind for, then what? I think additional maps down the road would be really great. Like we heard about, probably that Resurgence is coming, and that's going to be a DMZ 1-2, probably a completely new map at some point at the end of the year or next year. So that'll be DMZ. But yeah, there's got to be a way to keep it fresh for sure. So I'm curious what they're going to do with it, because right now I'm loving it, and you mean, you're right. I hit that point with Tarkov too, where like I was obsessed in love with it, and then you get tired of it, and it's just like you don't want to go back in and do all that again. So we'll have to see what they do.
I think there's stuff they can do, and I think that there's stuff I hope they do, and I'm gonna make a video about it. Like I don't want to give away too much. No, I'm kidding. Who cares? I don't think they should add a flea market. I may be in the minority. I think that made Tarkov worse, in my opinion. And I think a flea market is really hard to balance in an economy to keep going when they have so many other irons in the fire with modes and things like that. Like if the flea market had been going when that money glitch was on, they'd never recover it. They'd have to wipe it. So balancing an economy like that is really hard. I think it's frustrating how things work and everything just leaves, like when you extract and you get XP for it. But I think that's a really good way to do in a beta, to test it out, because it doesn't let the economy get bloated or messed up and them have to wipe it, and they can add stuff in later. So I think there 100% needs to be a stash though, where you can stash extra vests, you can stash extra things that you bring in, gas mask, self revives, things like that, like tangible things that it lets you bring in. Now there needs to be a stash. So if you want to unequip those and go on a silly 0 to hero run, you can. If you don't, if you're going in and you want to try to unlock a room, you need to get geared up, you can do that. The other thing, so I don't think a flea market would be good. I don't really want to, I could talk about that for a long time. The other thing that I think it needs is I want them to bring crafting back from the campaign. I think that would be really cool. Make some of those items worth more. You can stuff that, maybe items you can only craft. So some of those weird little items that are just worth 40 or 50 bucks, you use in a craft and build something sweet. I think that would be really cool. Just a whole bunch of little stuff like that. And then keep going with the maps. And I think there needs to be a way to have rewards. I'm trying to think of those times where you find something really cool and you just want to extract with it. I'm having some like blueprints and things maybe that you have to craft, or just ways to make some of those odds and end loot items worth it, and you get excited about.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I agree, because the blueprint you get for extracting the weapons case 6 times on Building 21 is like very lackluster. Personally, it was just like the thrill of getting it done and getting the reward was awesome. But yeah, I think you're right. And the thing is, it's just a beta, but I really want to know what they're going to do with the game moving forward, because it does have a lot of potential, and I'm having a lot of fun with it right now. So I want to make sure I keep having fun with it going forward.
Yeah. I mean, where it says it's a beta, that implies that they're going to add stuff to it. And I was just, I have a list.
They said they will.
Yeah. I have a list of little things that I think they could do to keep it going and to keep people interested, because the base gameplay loop is really good, and it's been a surprise.
Yeah.
It's been a surprise, and I think it'd be cool if they added attachments. That was one of the cool things about early Tarkov before the flea. It's like, man, if you found a red dot site, it's like, oh shit, like I gotta get out with this thing, and then you use it like only on special occasions and stuff. And now in Tarkov, it's like, well, I can just buy one, like whoever, right off the bat, so it doesn't really matter. And then it turns into like a money grind simulator. So. yeah, if they had some cool ways to maybe add attachments, or maybe you could even like the attachments you find in game, you could add to your gun, even if you have 5 attachments already, but only only if you find them or something like that. Like you could update your gun, just help with the
I agree.
because right now looting like jumper cables, hard drive, CPU fans is no different than just picking up money. You go sell it anyway. Like there's nothing to it. So
and it's like just for tasks is the only time you ever pick it up is for money or for the tasks.
And then you get that.
Exactly.
But then, exactly though. But in a task, when you pick something up, you're like, oh shit, I got to get out with this, or I got to get this to a dead drop. That's when it starts to get fun. So ways they can add more of that feeling, I think will only help and keep up with the contents and maps and like.
And and that's why I think Building 21 is so fun, because it's like, I mean, I'll do a video on that one. It's like you gotta to get to the weapons case for the armor, you gotta hack the server room. If no one does it, you gotta move there, and there's just so much to it. Okay, we hacked it. Now we gotta get upstairs. We gotta get past the AI and potential players. We gotta say how I get to the extract and get past Valican and the Wheelson. There's a lot there, and that's what it keeps it exciting. So I mean, yeah, exactly. That's what I want to see with continue. That's what was great about Building 21. That's why I think it really re-sparked my interest in the mode.
Yeah, you got to take me in there. I want to check it out for sure. You have to be my guide. Sherpa me.
I was that dude that had the map up. It was like going back to my Tarkov days. Had the map on my other screen, and I was directing us where to go. Like left turn here, right turn here. So I kind of know the map pretty well right now. All the spawns, everything. So it's fun.
That's awesome. So no, everything's kind of chilling until the season 2 update. There's not a whole lot expected for COD. I think the developers, similar with what's going on with the cheating, I think the developers are kind of on break.
Yeah, exactly.
And I guess Resurgence is supposed to come back. I know you're amped about that. You can't wait.
I don't really care. I made some like sarcastic comment on Twitter, and people always.
I felt attacked, Buff. I felt attacked.
People don't have a sense of humor, and don't understand.
Nope.
New York sarcasm. I'm sorry. Like we're dry, sarcastic assholes, but it's all in good fun. It's just sarcasm. But yeah, I mean, I don't care. I mean, I have fun. I had fun in that mode too. But it's just funny. Like there's a lot of hypocrites in the COD community. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, I mean, I'll play it. I'm gonna play it. It's not like I hate Resurgence modes. Like I was playing it back in. I was playing the first Rebirth in Blackout. So don't talk to me. I hate when people like.
What's your problem?
Preach like people preach like they're gaming like know-it-all encyclopedias when it's like. I was playing the first Resurgence map when it first came out as Rebirth Island. So like, calm down, everybody.
If I was in charge of Infinity Ward,
good fun.
Lordy, but yeah, no, we'll talk about that when it's official and stuff like that. But that's supposed to be allegedly a castle map. Like a big giant castle for maybe World at War.
Yeah, there's been quite a lot of leaks, so it looks like relatively similar, at least layout wise, from like Fortune's Keep, but like different also. And it's you can see the island from Al Mazrah. You can see it's an island off there that has like you can see the castle. It's just low poly, but that's what it's going to be. That's where it's going to be. So I think the Gaming Revolution, I think, had like a good video the other day where he went through a lot of stuff. So. But that's going to be a DMZ map too, so that'll be a smaller map for DMZ. I mean, that's going to be fun, man. So
yeah, because I'm excited. Yeah, they're adding to it. It'll be kind of similar. It'll be similar to like Factory. Like it'll be a smaller PvP. I guess kind of like akin to how Building 21's like Labs, high tier loot, a lot of PvP, a lot of high tier AI, and then a smaller castle map could be kind of like Factory, where you go into Factory, it's going to get Western. Like 100% of the time, there's no doubt you're not gonna run into stuff when you
always crazy for sure
when you play that. But yeah, so I think that's where it's at. I mean, I'm shadow banned in COD, so I'm gonna be playing some different games over the next week, I guess. So that'll be interesting. I've been wanting to go back to Battlefield anyway. They don't do anything about cheaters. I'll be safe there.
Exactly.
So dumb. Yeah. I want to play Battlefield 5 again and 1 and 4. That's getting that itch again.
Yeah, I need a remastered 3, and I'm good to go.
Yep. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the COD, how it's at. My only quick shot, like I don't know I don't know. I don't even know if I want to get into it. It's pretty wild. Battle State Games got banned on Twitch during their drops event, and no one knows 100% sure why, but it was like allegedly Nikita dry fired a pistol at somebody. So like they have like guns and stuff on there, and I'm like, dude,
yeah,
I'm like obviously like
right, yeah,
but man, I am nutty about safety. And
yeah,
that's not
exactly.
acceptable, man. You can't point.
And they should know better. Was it? I mean, this is the first I'm hearing about it. What like, was it a prop? Blah, blah,
I'm not sure.
I don't. It doesn't matter. I don't matter if it was a prop or not.
Right. I don't want to talk a whole lot about it because I got it. I
don't know. Yeah.
I'm 100% honest. Those were rumors. That's why people. So I saw. Let me just be completely clear, guys. We're not gonna make shit up here. I don't want to do that. So there was the report. I haven't seen the clip. There was a report that they did get banned. So that's 100% news. Battle State Games did get banned on Twitch. And then a bunch of people underneath were asking why, and multiple replies from people were saying that he fired a pistol towards someone. So that's super alleged, guys. So we're 100% saying alleged. They did get banned. If that's the case, it's deserved. You can't do that shit.
Yeah. It's irresponsible. But we'll have to wait and see if that's actually what it was. So I'm sure they'll come out in the next couple of days.
Yeah, but let's wait till we get some official stuff before we do that. Yeah, let's not we're innocent until proven guilty. This is not Russia, so that's how it is in America. So yeah, we'll chill out a little bit. Look at this recon drone gameplay over here. Look at that. That's how you. And if you ping people that are ghosted, you can still ping them. Like if you see them, you can still, and it doesn't show up on the kill cam. And they're like, "I'm ghosted."
That's what how Crash got shadow banned. The story of Crash's life, right there.
Yeah. So, if there's any chat Q&A, we have a little bit. Probably won't take too many. Buff. I don't want to keep Buff too long. He's in a hotel hanging out with his family. So, I got
like 3 to 4 more minutes would be ideal if we.
Oh, well, we can just end it if somebody wants to talk about something really quick. But yeah, I'm thinking about I've been thinking about doing some more range streams out in my pasture. I have like a range and a backstop and stuff. And like, dude, it is all about safety, man. Like that's it. That's it.
And I'm looking to do the same, man. I got like some stuff I want to get to the range and show off the kit and do that stuff. So,
because you can't put the bullet back in the gun once it's out, man. So like, be careful with that shit. Ground branch update. Yeah. See if I can find something about that. 100%.
That's a big one. That's another one from the indie side that I couldn't think of at the time. Yeah. Ground branch, direct contact. There's so many of those that we're going to hear a lot more and get into this year in 2023 for sure. There's just so many indie titles that are great. we gotta make a list and get through them all.
Yeah, I don't want to pull up. I didn't see any official gameplay stuff, so I don't want to pull up anybody else's video and steal that way. I don't want to be TikTok.
Shots, firing shots.
Yeah. So yeah, there was a ground branch update. I need to look into it, but that's a super tactical indie game. Is that the one that Blue Drake's developing, like the YouTuber Blue Drake?
No, his is harsh doorstop.
Okay, ground branch is different. Right.
Yeah.
And then, but they just did a massive engine upgrade. I watched the Blue the robot did a video about it, and it looks crazy. It looks crazy. So
yeah, that's one I've had my eye on for a while, and I love it. So
yeah, I remember hearing about it, but I definitely need to check it out, and look into it. But yeah, guys. Since Buff has to go, I probably need to go too. I don't want to take up a bunch of people's time. Thank you guys for an awesome 2022. I look forward to spending 2023 with you guys. Hopefully the show will just continue to push out good content. If we grow, we grow. If we don't, we're thankful for the people that are here 100%. And thanks to Buff for tuning in from an undisclosed location. Wherever you are in a hotel. Probably a bougie penthouse suite if I had to guess. Probably.
I don't know. There could be some Playboy models around the corner. That's for me to know and for you not to know. Yeah.
Cool, man. Yeah. So, thanks guys for everything. An awesome year, an awesome show. Sorry for the BS. I'll try to get my router fixed and everything fixed for next time. I always say this: next week will be better. I guess tune in to find out. That's the fun.
This was a one-off. We haven't really had any technical difficulties thus far.
We haven't had the show shut down in a long. I had it happen. I had it happen when I was doing one myself, but not in a long time. I haven't had a problem.
Yeah,
but it's been happening on my Twitch streams in the evening too. My router's just like, I'm out.
See ya. Done.
I got to figure that out. Yeah. But yeah, we'll have an awesome year. Edward, really quick, I didn't play the remastered older CODs yet. I'm sorry. Don't hate me. I'm a bad host. But anyways, yeah, thank you so much for being here. We'll get these. I'll edit the two. If you watch it on the scope, it'll be all in one. I'll pull the two VODs and edit them together where there isn't that router problem. So
you won't even know. You won't even know.
No. Just think, the people watching the VOD and made it to this point, they don't even know that we had a router mistake. And the podcast people don't even know.
Everyone's just gonna miss me talking to myself for 5 minutes there, because I had some good stuff that I was happy with, and now it's just lost. It wasn't broadcast to anybody, so
I'm sad. Okay. I wish there was maybe there'll be found footage one day. The phone actually saved it. We'll find it one day.
yeah, lost buff footage.
Oh, jeez. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Peace.